Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever it is.
Oh,
Welcome
yeah.
to the Friday stream as I play with curly toes and try to make the altitude hold actually work. So iRacing's down for maintenance again, so yeah, GG. Look, no hands, mum. I'm just watching the altitude. It's meant to be holding at 50 meters, but I don't think it's doing it very well. I need to tune this thing. Bigfoot. I was so into lurk mode yesterday, I didn't notice that I was gifted a sub, so thank you to Martin Light and keep up the good work. 37 months sub now. Thank you, Big. Who decided the heli's a good idea? Heli's always a good idea. It's when Pups flies it or White enjoys the game. That's when it stops being a good idea. Right, so I've told it to hold at 50 meters. That's the altitude. And that's what the pit's currently chucking out. So you can see it's overshot the altitude by 30 meters. And then if we wait, by the time it gets to its target, it's not... The PID value's still in the negative. In fact, it should be positive right now, and it's not. So, I think the integral's too high. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Curly toes. Can you do turbine-powered helis? Yes, you can. Funnily enough, I was saying to Pups just before the stream, I would like to convert this from, well, probably do a V2 of it that's not diesel. This is a diesel. I'd like to do a jet turbine version of it. I think that would be fun. I think it'd probably need a bigger tank though. But I think that would be hilarious. This has got two large tanks on the back though. Having hell, welcome back. Have you all had a good Friday, guys, so far? Thunderfluff, thank you for 39. Hambone 12, welcome back. Aerospike 25, been away for too long. Well, YouTube videos have got me back into Stormworks. Seems like I have a lot of catching up to do. Welcome back. Convert to jet and all hell will break loose with physics. Maybe, as long as you don't spin the jet up too quickly. And don't forget, you could always use the jet just to generate power and then use electric motor to power the rotor. I mean, there's different ways of doing it. Drop tanks would be nice. What do you mean by drop tanks? I think Puppies is blowing something up in my game by the sound of it. Hang on, let me tune this bit. So I think the integral is too high, so I'm going to make that there. I'm not convinced that that is... It wasn't slowing it down quickly enough. Let's try 20. Good evening, Dawson. I don't know who's playing. Pups is definitely playing. He's joined my game. We're just in a creative session at the moment, because that way we get infinite fuel and stuff, and I don't have to keep wasting fuel. Not a variable. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for the bits. Nightbird, I didn't figure it out on the jet because I haven't played it since. I was gonna fix that today, but I thought to myself, we probably need to pay back that 250 grand we borrowed, and I'm not sure how we can do it with the jet engine on the plane right now. So I thought, hang on, let's try and get this altitude hole working because curly toes is actually useful. Okay, let's see. Okay, the derivative, yeah, it's over braking now. You see it, it's fighting. You see how it goes up, down, up, down, up, down? That's the D value, the derivative's too high now. It's kind of getting to the altitude, but it's doing it in a very interesting way. It's doing it in like a stutter fashion. Oh, that's crazy stuff. In fact, it's overshot the altitude again. This is so bizarre. Gamble Max, thank you for 14 months. For Himes, thank you for 25. I cannot work out why this is not actually just like ABS. Altitude ABS, that's what it is. So that value there makes it climb up at a reasonable pace. Like it doesn't try to, you know, send you to the moon kind of thing, which is nice. That value, I think, is way too high. But when that value's too low, it basically overshoots it completely. It's crazy. I might set that to 0 and see how that goes. Let's try that. I'm not sure we need the integral. We shall see. Hey, Jules. Mr. Sweet, how you doing? Okay, so we're punching the number we want, 50. Hit the altitude hold. And we see what happens. Very slowly climbing now. Thank you. Is the proportional gain too high? No. The proportional gain's too low, look. So that tells me something. Because I've set the integral to 0, it means the proportional gain is very low. The integral was not the thing causing it. Actually, no, the integral was the thing causing it to overshoot. So what we could do now is set the p-value higher. Leave the integral at 0 for a minute. Make that 10 times stronger. It's the advantage of being in creative mode, is that I don't have to keep loading this thing with fuel all the time. Let me drag Pups down here. Hang on. Where is he? Why are they not in mod active, Pups?
They're talking about Sherlock.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be in the mod room.
Well, yes. Tell them that, Paul. They're watching a stream. You tell them.
I only just noticed they're not in the mod room and you wasn't in the gaming room. See more thing for 7 months? Wish it didn't spawn in a hangar all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Turn that on. We're still only gaining very, very slowly, so I can probably bring that up even more. Mr. Durka. Mr. Brendan. How are you, sir? The Master Brewer himself. The Flying Master Brewer.
Celebratory fun.
Thank you for the host. Welcome, guys, from Durka Stream. I hope you had a good one, sir. I think, if I'm correct, you're just playing P3D. Are you staying well, Mr. Durka? Rhetoric! Remember that I was left with, yes, 256 gig of memory, I remember that. In a leap of faith, decided to use my other same brand server, that actually came with another megahertz type of memory. Excited to be banned from using the sticks there too. Uh-oh, that just scrolled off the screen. The long haul Dublin to Dubai with Mr. Bretson. That's what they did. I don't know how, but I will have a mixed memory server and it totally works. GG, Refric. At least you didn't waste any money. And 27 months from Bretson. Thank you very much. Mods, can we please get a shout out for both Bretson and Durka. Both great streamers. Go and give them a follow, guys. So, was you doing dual? Was you just flying together, like on VATSIM, or were you doing like a shared cockpit type flight? Okay, so the good news is it kind of gets to the altitude you want. The bad news is it takes a long time to get there. When it gets to 50, it overshoots very slightly. And it's still climbing. That's interesting. Check the PID values. That's what I've been playing with. They go positive and negative, even though they should only be positive. Something's wrong about that. Wait, no, that's not correct, Captain Flint. PID values can go positive and negative. I'm pretty certain they can. Otherwise, how else would it compensate? Let me think. I'm pretty certain it can go plus and minus. I've seen it before. Otherwise, you tell me how that PID is producing a negative value then. If it can't go negative. All it basically does is produce a number greater than 0 if it needs to approach the target value, and then it'll go negative if it's over the top of it. That's all it literally does. You mean on the display when you're too low, they switch positive and minus? Yes. Yeah, that's definitely wrong. It shouldn't be doing that. It should be like climbing and then leveling out at some value. It should start off as 0, and then the number should climb, and as the altitude gets to 50, that number should come back to 0. That's literally what should happen. But that's not what's happening. Am I in the Bermuda Triangle? I don't believe I am. So what we can do is play with this. Make that a lot stronger. Yes, they're going negative because I think the derivative is overcompensating. You're risking it being in here with me. Moncha Paparino. Wait, that's not Paparino.
I was going to say, I'm in the workbench. I got super confusing.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck, man? Who's this imposter? Well, in that case, let's take him on a fun ride. Mr. Gate Crasher. Okay. So now I've got a positive PID value. It's climbing at a sort of linear rate. The PID remains positive, but it's starting to... Oh, look, it's starting to come back now. As we approach the target, it's slowly coming back. Interesting. It takes a long time to get there, but it looks a lot better. It actually approaches... Oh, I can't edit now because he's in the vehicle. Sammy, get out. Yes, scumbag. Eject the port. Oh. I don't know why it doesn't let you take people out when they're in the vehicle.
No,
You should be able to. What a scumbag. Right, we'll try again. Hopefully, it will get to 50 meters a bit quicker this time. I need to convert the altitude from 50 to, like, feet as well, because I don't like meters. Well, I like meters, but not for altitude. Roadwolf, thank you 52 months. Now, we had a sub bomb and from Jack Garrett, and I completely forgot to shout that out. A whole bunch of people got gifted a sub. 5 subs in total. Jack Garrett, thank you very much for gifting 5 subs. It's very kind of you. Why do you need 100% throttle? Because the engine is driven by a clutch, so what you generally do is put the engine on 100%. I mean, you can sit there and play with the throttle if you want to, but it's much easier to play with the collective and clutch and stuff. Right, here we go. 50, go. Okay, that was quite an aggressive lift. But we got to 50 and we sat at 50. It works, puppy.
Yay!
It took us to 50 a little bit quick, but I can sort that out. But it sits at 50. That's awesome. Right, if I fly forward now, in theory, it should try and keep me in a level flight.
Yep.
Oh, it's not doing a very good job of it. It's a bit slow to pick up. Oh, it needs some work. Needs a bit of work. It doesn't really climb quickly enough, like when you tip forward.
Yeah.
Maybe an integral value would help with that.
At least you got it working.
Yeah, I mean, it's holding it 50 reasonably well. It just doesn't do it. Like, if you tip the helicopter forward, it starts to dive, but it doesn't compensate for it. Then again, maybe it couldn't. Maybe there wasn't enough collective in the first place. Okay, let's try it out to sea so we don't actually die. So I'll just give it a nice gentle tip forward, maybe. I can see the PID value coming up, but not very quickly. Yeah, that's where the integral's going to come in, I think. It's like, it's taking too long to get to value now. That's not 50 meters, bro. Let's point it back. 45. Yeah, it's not quite aggressive enough at the moment. Needs what? Am I okay? Yes, I'm fine, thank you, Tom. How are you? See, when I'm nose down, it doesn't... If I level off, it seems to bring you up to 50 fairly effectively, but when you're nose down, it doesn't. If I turn the altitude hold off and try to hold an altitude...
So I'm using game room for...
Okay. So even when I'm tilted downwards, I can maintain a speed. What works better with altitude hold? Right, let's drag somebody down. Hey there.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. How is you?
Not bad, just trying to figure this pit out.
Have you not asked the experts in chat? Where's Pringles?
Let's try that. We're on a creative at the moment, just so we don't have to keep refueling.
Yeah, I got that. Thanks.
Let's see what bringing a bit of integral back does. It's a very thin tail you have on the helicopter. That's because it's lightweight. The more blocks you have, the heavier the whole thing is.
Did the spawn the block theory thing in again?
Lol.
Okay, let's try. Okay, why is it when you put an integral value on it just goes absolutely nuts? Like, why does it do that? I don't get it. Like, I added a very small integral. Let's try something really small. Oh, my life, pups. What on earth? Dude! I better not have broke something. Yeah, exactly, Hannah. What is that? Exactly.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's not start criticising and going, what is this?
Hey, pups, check it out. Do you think this will be enough fuel for us to transport?
Does the back rotor
I'm on
actually do
my
anything,
way.
Noah? What the back rotor does is let you turn.
What's the capacity of that, son?
500,000?
It lets
something
you
like
yaw like a proper helicopter. 500,000 boats, okay.
that? No, the oil capacity
Oh,
is...
oh, that's the 500,000 thing he's on about.
Yeah, so the size of the... You can transport 500,000 litres of oil.
Oh, that wasn't bad.
You should come and look at my storm.
That wasn't bad at all.
My Stormworks, my fuel truck.
Yeah, I've seen your fuel truck.
No, I've been proving it. Look.
Can I have my retinas back, please?
Ooh.
Is this a pump truck like Mark
Ooh, this
4?
isn't bad.
No, this has got storage on it.
Okay.
It's not quite holding 50. That value's going up a little bit too slowly, but it's not a bad first effort.
You drive it if you want to drive it.
It's close to
2
50.
to take the brake off. 1 to change gearbox ratio.
It needs to race slightly quicker.
Oh, rear wheel steer.
Yep. I had to, because otherwise it wouldn't turn.
Yeah,
Yeah, it needs very a little bit more aggression, doesn't it?
Really, like, not.
A little bit higher
pleasant.
p-value just to
Yeah.
give it a little bit more aggression.
Does it
Not
float?
too much.
You can try it, so me go for it.
Maybe try 08.
My guess would be a no.
I think you need to add grip to the tyres.
They're on max.
Well, the forward motion is being controlled by me. I'm just basically pitching the aircraft.
Doesn't flow.
That's a no.
I'm just pitching the nose forward. And then having it control the collective. That's essentially what I'm doing.
Well, my boat's still standing
See, when
upright. Must
you
be
see,
we've got
even from
something right.
0.05 to 0.08, just a small change in the value. Instead of it just climbing slowly, it just goes whoosh. It'll probably hold more aggressively on this now. But yeah, even that small change is too much. But even so, now you want the integral to take over, I think. So the chopper's up there, and I'm down here. Just saying we have a rogue chopper. Oh, God. It's flying itself.
Is that a slight design fault, or...?
Hey, it's not doing bad, to be fair. The only problem is I can't get back in. Have you got a big ladder? Hey, if he keeps doing this, I might be able to get back in. Oh my god. I got this. I got this. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, come on, curly toes. It's just a little bit too high for me. NGC, watch out, runaway chopper. Oh my god, I love the way it's just circling now, it looks so fun. Oh man. But a tiny change in that
Oh, I thought
value
you were
made a
gonna leave it
huge difference.
indefinitely.
The Vink, welcome back. So we were at 0.05, we went to 0.07, it was too much. 0.06. I'm going to bring this up now. Hoping that'll help. When you put the nose down, I want it to sort of compensate a bit better. We'll see. Good spawn. Alright, here we go. Still too aggressive. It gets you to 50, but it overshoots a little bit now. Because of that integral value. Yeah, it's not as nice as it was. I think the integral values made it worse, actually. So if you put the nose down, what does it do? It's too slow to react. It's a tricky one. If you have the p-value too high, it accelerates off the ground way too much, but yet, for some reason, when you pitch forward, it doesn't climb properly. Why would you have a negative value having hell?
Here you go, Pops. This is what mine looks like.
Why would you have negative values for PID? Isn't that just going to send it the wrong way?
Let's have a look. It's like...
It's not negative, it's just a dash. Oh. No, 0.1 doesn't work. 0.1's way too aggressive. We already tried 0.1.
It's heavy on the front.
Mandrill, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome to the house, Mandrill. So yeah, I just changed that, didn't I?
And I thought my one was
That's
bad.
what we just had that is reasonable.
The power is like absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I had to put power to the front wheels as well to stop this.
Yeah, I don't think I've done the diff in yet.
Have an altitude hold and an altitude acquire mode separately with different PIDs. Okay, I don't know how that works.
Run, run. You tried to steer away from that as well.
What does derivative do again?
I was trying to see if it actually worked, but
so it's very hard to explain how a PID works, but the derivative value basically says, let's say your altitude's here, and you're accelerating upwards towards your altitude. As you get near the altitude, what you would do in a real helicopter is you would back off on the collective, right? So if you didn't have a derivative value, what happens is it gets to here and it overshoots. And it comes back down again and just literally goes like that around the altitude you want. With a derivative, it kind of puts the brakes on. It slows it down as it approaches it like that, if you get it tuned right.
Happy anniversary.
One hover hold less aggressive and one altitude hold very aggressive. Yeah, but I don't literally have no concept of how you're linking all that together. The Vink, thank you for half a year. 6 months in a row, thank you very much. Kevin, thanks for 39. I'm good, thank you, Mildred. Does the game say if it uses the independent PID equation or dependent PID equation? Not seen any documentation on that. Yeah, but Battle Cattle, I don't get it. Like, if you have two systems, how are they working together? Like, where are you sending the output? Where are you getting the input from? If you have one aggressive and one not aggressive, are you saying that you add the values up that come out of the PID? Ramps up quickly to a value below target value, then slows down as it approaches. Can one PID controller can the gains of a second in real time? One PID controller change the gains of a second. You could, I guess. When you're better mass, when you reach the altitude, required altitude, switch to altitude hold. Oh, okay. You want to switch. Interesting. Spartan Strider, 45 months been lurking during the lockdown as I'm still at work and I'm snowed under, but not complaining. Keep up the excellent work. Thank you, Spartan. For us non-flight nerds, what does PID mean? It's nothing to do with flight, actually, Hannah. A PID is basically a controller that can govern systems. They're very, very, very common. You have absolutely used something with a PID in it. I guarantee it. But what they do is just help control a system. That's what they do. Let's make it slightly more aggressive. Make the brakes a bit stronger. On a controllable regulator. I'm using it in a control system in this way. Alright, let's see what happens. Way too aggressive. You see how quickly that came up? So that value jumped to like 2 point something very quickly. It got to altitude and it held it really well, but it got there too aggressively. The upside of it is when I tilt forward now, it's not too bad at holding that altitude. What's wrong with the dull colors today? It's nighttime in Stormworks. It's the middle of the night. It's not very colourful then. So what's interesting about that is I'm nose down now. That value's just about picking up. But when I engaged the PID initially, it blew up to like 2.5, like super fast. I was thinking about that, Captain Flynn. I was thinking about putting him through a limiter. Just to stop it being too aggressive. But I was kind of hoping I could tune it, you know? There's an advanced bit in the microcontrol section can take variable gain values. You could maybe modify the gains based on pitch to compensate for the altitude loss in some way. I have never played with that one, SDC. Can you add keypads to change the gains while in flight? Saves you having to go back to the workbench every time. I don't believe you can do that. So if I set that now to like 20, this is where it's going to get fun. Ooh, that wasn't terrible. That was not terrible. It didn't slam dunk me into the ground. Decrease the proportional gain and increase the integral. Alright, we'll try that. Every time I put integral value in, though, it just goes utterly bananas. Well, maybe the answer is we just, oh yeah, my health's low. That's true. Yeah, there's no way of getting your health up apart from sleeping, is there?
Nope.
That's why we've lost colour, because my health is a bit low, because I fell out of a helicopter.
Well, when you said get out, I jumped and I went to my death. So, I mean, that's only fair, right?
When you die, do you spawn back with more health?
Yes.
Maybe it's just get killed then.
Well, take Pup's truck for a drive. That'll kill you.
Wow.
I quite like the way it behaved on 5 in
We'll
terms
just
of
go
it,
for a
the
swim
way
and,
that it went
you know,
there.
stay down.
Oh, here we go. Engage. Climb. So the integral value causes a bit of an overshoot because it builds up and is not adequately compensated by the derivative value. However, the derivative value is kicking in a little bit now. I think maybe the answer is a more aggressive p-value, but we clamp it. We clamp the range that it can go to, so that it can't cause the helicopter to do like crazy stuff. Where have you got that from, Jeshro?
Happy anniversary, Matter.
Goodbye, cruel world. Well, where the heck is it spawned me? Are the numbers on your heli for your altitude hold? Fair enough. I can see it in colour again. That's nice. You realize that back in the day you accidentally made a really bad ped at uni when running a thermostat for a project? Probably. Katsu Curry, thank you for 10 months. Booze and Squirrel. Lol. What was I going to do? I was going to make the p-value higher and clamp it, wasn't I? The only thing about doing that is if you basically clamp the output value, like internally the PID is just going to keep rising in value because it's trying more aggressive, and then as soon as it needs to do something else, it has to bring all that value off before it can like properly function again. Do people with high PID values only activate altitude hold when they are near target altitude? I don't believe so. Takes an input number and sets a range, the upper and lower values. Okay. Let's try that. So we'll take the value out of this. And we'll clamp it. A minimum value of... Let's try 2 and -2. Just taking a complete guess. We'll send that value to there. And we'll send the value to the display. So we're clamping it in a range of -2 to +2 now. Hey, hello. Clamp will make it worse. Technically not make it worse. So it's not doing a bad job. We can try bringing up the aggression a little bit more now. See, it's well below its 50 at the moment. The PID's still rising. But it is possible that I've got the nose down too much and the helicopter just can't dive and climb like that. Hey, James. Okay, so if we rock that up now. When it was on 08 before, it was way too aggressive. But with a clamped value, it might be fine. Can I repaint the heli, James? That's blasphemy, that is. Curly Toes color comes from Curly Toes in GTA. So keep an eye on that now. Interesting. I never got anywhere near to. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to behave how I want it to behave. It doesn't react, like, it doesn't put the collective up enough when I put the nose down. It doesn't strongly bring the collective up. At altitude, hold on, can you do the same forward travel? That's what I tried a minute ago. But we'll try it again to make sure. What number's max collective? It's a very good question. So if we take it up to like 50 meters manually, say about, I don't know, there-ish. The question is, if I go into a nosedive, can I compensate with the collective? That's max collective, and I'm fully nosedived, and I'm only losing a little bit of altitude. If I pull back a touch, like that kind of angle, whatever that is, and we're still climbing now, maximum dive.
What size wheels have you got on your creation pups?
7x7.
See how we've lost like 10 meters. The pit's still... I think the derivative might be too aggressive. The derivative's inhibiting it, I think. I think that's what's going on. I think that the derivative's too strong. It inhibits the range it can get to when it gets like if you say the target's 50 and it's 40, it's not very far away. So the derivative puts the brake on it. So maybe if we bring that down a touch, maybe that'll help. Shy Wolf, thank you for 26. Mandatory fun. As a helicopter pilot, I can honestly say that this machine is as unpredictable as the real one. What on earth is that?
I'm just fiddling with wheel sizes and things, trying to make something look perspective.
It looked great when it bounced.
What's up, Sean?
I think you should make a unicycle with a PED control in it. So you just get on it, and then it just automatically keeps itself upright.
Wouldn't you need, like, a rope? How would that work?
Use a tilt sensor.
Yeah, but against what? What would you use? A pivot?
I'll just use an electric motor. Motors can go forward and backwards. I mean, you can buy them in real life, but that's just basically a PID inside, isn't it? Saying, oh, if you tilt forward, then I'll just apply the motor. Yes, exactly. Like a Segway. Exactly right. I don't know. This is just not doing what I want it to do. It's altitude holding, just not in the way I want it to. So look at how slowly that's recovering the altitude. As you get close to 50, it slows down, but as you step forward, it's still applying the curve, which is slow. Yeah, that's why I just brought the derivative down, thinking maybe that would stop. Like, the brake was the problem. I don't know, I'm just, I'm out of options now. Why not try your values, or a Spike? Okay, let me just... Thank you, Ivan. Thank you for your support. Let me try your values then. So what are you going for? 1, 0.1, and 10. Yeah? Paul, I don't know if I told you, but I got invited to my first iRacing team. So have I, James. But I basically said, no, not right now. It's up to you, mate. Okay. 50 and engage. We're at 100 and now we're at 0. And now we're going back up to 100. I'm not doing anything, by the way. This is hands-free. We're 109. And now we're going to 0. I mean, it looks fun. If you like roller coaster rides, I guess. Tom, thank you for 43 months. Which is the least spoken language in the world? Sign language. Lol.